Hello, all my glamorous people out there. Today's video is going to be a drugstore haul. I've decided I'm going to start looking at drugstore makeup more. Mostly because I came to this idea when I was organizing my makeup collection, and what I found is that even though I have a lot of Avon, which is, by the way, very inexpensive, especially when you get on sales, and I do have a lot of e.l.f. products, but that's not a drugstore item for me. I have to actually order that online. I don't have a lot of drugstore products. I actually stopped at Rexall because if I did a search for Wet n Wild, it shows as Rexall's having it. Rexall doesn't have any Wet n Wild. I'm going to ask people for products at the end of the video that they think I should try and find to buy and try. Don't mention Wet n Wild. I have to order Wet n Wild online. If I got enough recommendations for Wet n Wild products, I would probably place an order, but at this point Canada Post is going to be going on strike, so getting it would probably cost a lot of money for one. So I'd like to kind of stick to what I can get in Hinton, or even I may look in the city when I go, but that won't be until the end of August, to see if I can find Wet n Wild. We cannot get Milani here. They are now starting to carry Essence, L'Oreal, NYX. Our drugstore brands are Joe Fresh and Quo through Shoppers Drug Mart. You can get Covergirl, Maybelline, a lot of those, but I can't find Wet n Wild in this town at all. I looked because there's a lot of Wet n Wild things I see all these YouTubers talking about. I can't get it. I can't. I've tried. I went into this store specifically because if you do a search, it says that they carry it. They do not. They do not. They had a little section of NYC, and I think the other section was Annabelle, I want to say, but there wasn't anything that like jumped out at me and I said, I want that. But the reason why I want to do this is that I have a lot of high-end products. A lot of high-end products. I'd say that if it's not Avon, I have a lot of e.l.f., but I've ordered it online, and the reason why I have a lot is that when I place an order, because it's coming from the States, I place a big order, so I'm only ordering once. I have a lot of Mary Kay. I have every single eyeshadow of Mary Kay, but they're expensive. A Mary Kay eyeshadow is more expensive than a Makeup Geek eyeshadow, even paying the actual duty on it and the exchange rate on the Canadian dollar to the American dollar. It's the same with ColourPop. It's so cheap to get them compared to what a Mary Kay product is. So I have a lot of Mary Kay, but again, it's high end. I have a lot of Makeup Geek, but not everybody has the ability to get a Makeup Geek product or a ColourPop product, both which are inexpensive. So you have Sephora and you have MAC. MAC isn't exactly cheap. Their eyeshadows have come down to Makeup Geek levels. And there again, not all MAC products are going to be easy to use either, and it can be quite intimidating walking into a MAC store and just looking, because you're immediately approached. in Canada we don't have Ulta. If we do, it'd probably be in like, Toronto, probably. I'm not sure. I know I cannot order from Ulta, which I wish I could. But that leaves your high end, which is Sephora, Beautylish. They're all expensive. And I have a lot. Like, I have NARS blushes. I have NARS lipsticks. I have Burberry lipsticks. And palettes, like, going out of style. But I don't have... I can say my one drugstore palette that I use at least weekly is a Covergirl palette, which I love. And I'm like, why am I not buying these? So that is why I'm doing this drugstore haul. I am welcoming any recommendations for drugstore products. As I said, if I get enough recommendations for Wet n Wild products, then I will place an order online to get them, but I cannot get them in Hinton. So, let's get into this. Enough talking. Get into it already, Sherry. So, Rexall is another drugstore, and they're the only place in town that I know that sells Real Techniques. So I actually got a powder brush, and I have had this out to feel it, and it feels wonderful. And I got the Real Techniques sponge, which I have had one of these before. It served its purpose, and I just couldn't get it to soften anymore. Eventually it became very hard up here. It was very strange. But that one I had ordered online. This one I actually got it in the store. And this brush was $15, $14.99 for this brush, which I don't think is that bad. I mean, going to Sephora buy a powder brush, you're not going to be paying 15 bucks for it. Then the complexion sponge was $10.99, and I think when I had ordered it from well.ca, and it cost me $15 for it, which is still cheaper than a beauty blender, but it was still $15 for a sponge. Not that I'll ever throw out my beauty blenders. I have a few. But this works as well as a beauty blender. In some cases it works better than a beauty blender with some of the foundations. So I got these. Good price. Drugstore haul. Most people can find these. As I said, we sell them at our Rexall. I believe our King Value Drug sells them too. And for brushes that cost about the same, the Quo from Shoppers Drug Mart, I believe a powder brush costs $16. So $1 more expensive than the Real Techniques, and they're the same good quality. And next I got, and it's out of the box, I needed a new eyelash color. I had gotten one from e.l.f. and I don't know, after using it a couple times, I noticed it did not fit well into my eye. I never had that problem before. I've bought several eyelash curlers from different places. I've never had that. It actually seemed too long and I couldn't get in to curl my lashes. So I saw this one there, and this cost $18, which I think is a really good price for Tweezerman. I know that their nail care products, like their cuticle nippers, are expensive, and they have a lifetime warranty. You can send them in and get them sharpened, and the same with their tweezers are really high quality. So when I saw Tweezerman, it was only $18. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm up for that. I used this today, and my eyelashes have never curled that much in my whole life, and I'm wondering, where have you been all my life? I have short lashes that go straight. this curled them like nothing. I normally have to sit there forever trying to get my eyelashes to curl. Nothing. This, like nothing. And it came with 3 replacement pads for this part. So, another great buy at the drugstore. And now I'm going, why am I not at the drugstore more often? Next, I had talked about getting foundations, and I've got 2 foundations here. One is from Walmart, so I'll get into it though. This is probably got to be the most talked about foundation from the drugstore. So I have picked this up at Shoppers, I don't know how many times, and put it back. Picked it up, put it back. Mostly because I wasn't sure on what color. I found my perfect color. My biggest thing about drugstore foundation is I've got this with my Fit Me foundation. I've got this I've got this with the other one. My Rimmel comes in a tube, which I'm good with because my Mary Kay comes in a tube. They don't have a pump. This is my biggest thing about these. But I mean, my Estee Lauder doesn't have a pump either, which kind of sucks. But so I have finally picked up a True Match foundation, and I have not tried this yet, and I got it in the color C4, and I'm pretty sure this will match me. It's shell beige, so I got this, and it was $20.99, which I'm not shocked by that from Rexall. I think it might be $18.99 at Shoppers, which is probably where I would buy it if I purchase it again. But I have finally gotten L'Oreal True Match, which, like I said, I do have the L'Oreal Lift foundation, which I really do like. The next foundation I have, and I can't tell you how much this was. I got it at Walmart, and I can't find my receipt for it, so I can't tell you how much it was. But this is the Covergirl Clean Matte, and I've got it in the shade Creamy Natural, which is just a tad too light for me at this time because of my being out in the sun. So I'm just mixing in a little bit of a darker foundation with it, just to darken it up a slight bit. Again, I'm wearing this today. I love it. It's great coverage. I used very little, and I mean, I did mix a small amount of a different foundation in that was darker, but I used such a small amount, and I couldn't believe how far it went. This bottle will last me forever. I can't tell you how it's going to wear, but at this point it's full coverage for sure, and for very little product. The only problem, again, no pump. Please put a pump on these things. I know this one was probably $11, I have to say, $10.99. I did get it at Walmart. It is CoverGirl. I'm finding more and more all foundations are really expensive, so that's not bad. I actually have a couple things that I gotten from Walmart, and I can't tell you the price of them. Walmart is my go-to for Rimmel. They carry so much Rimmel that, like, you go down one aisle and you have all their other products, and then you go around the corner and then they've got half of an aisle for Rimmel. So that's my go-to for Rimmel, even though I bought the Rimmel foundation at Shoppers. But I got the Rimmel London Long Lasting Stay Matte Pressed Powder, and it's in the shade Creamy Natural. I don't know where this has been all my life. I used it today. This helps you stay matte all day. I wanted to get the translucent, but they didn't have a translucent. It had been picked over so badly. It was like they hadn't gotten an order for quite a while or something. But this matches my skin perfectly, and that's fine. I will continue to look for the translucent just because I know that this one is nice and it's the same formula, so the translucent worked really, really well. The next thing I had gotten, and again I can't tell you how much these, I think this was $7.99, so good price. The next thing I got was a Rimmel London Natural Bronzer, again from Walmart, and this one is in Sunlight, and again this was picked over so badly there. So I like this bronzer. It is very nice, light, sun-kissed glow. This isn't going to be like a builded up bronzer. It kind of smells like sunscreen. I haven't used this. I have used the Stay Matte powder. But when I was there, we're going to move back into Rexall. I had been looking for the big one that everybody shows on YouTube of the Rimmel. And that is the Rimmel Sun Shimmer Maxi Bronzer in the Big Pan. They had two of these on the shelf at Walmart, and both of them were shattered. So when we had got home and my husband had unpacked my makeup and he dropped this, and I'm like, he goes, "It's all good. It didn't break." I'm like, "It better not have," because the ones at Walmart of this size were shattered like powder. I don't think you could repress that at all. It was bad. But lucky for me, Rexall had it, and this one was $12.50 for big ass bronzer. I don't know about you, I'm not going through that much bronzer. This one is in number 2 Sun Love, and oh my god, this color is just, that is what I look like when I tan, is that color. This is perfect, and again, it smells like sunscreen is the best description I can give of it. Next, I had also gotten at Walmart, this is a Rimmel London Provocalypse, and the idea behind this is you use this part, put it on, you let it dry, so you let it set, so you're supposed to stand there like this while it sets. Then you coat it with a gloss. This, it's supposed to last, I think, 16 hours. Yeah, 16 hours. It lasted 16 hours, but I feel at by the 8-hour mark, I could feel it starting to break up and it became kind of gritty. But what I did was I just put another coat of the gloss on. I imagine I could have probably put just a lip balm on even, because the color stayed until I took it actually off. So I don't remember how much that was, but this was good. Then I went to Rexall, and they have these L'Oreal Paris ones that are basically the same idea. And I am not going to swatch this on my hand because I walked around all of Monday afternoon with this on my hand. I used a makeup wipe. I used a Sephora cleansing oil on it. I eventually got most of it off with coconut oil. This stays, and it is a glittery pink. So you do basically the same thing you do with the Rimmel, except this one has a balm instead. And this one is actually meant to be used. You use it throughout the day. So if your lips start to feel a little bit dry, you just pop on some more of the balm. So I did this on my hand. I did a swatch. I let it dry. I put the balm over top. That sucker was not moving. This stuff is awesome. I have not worn it on my lips yet, so I can't speak to how it'll last on my lips, but I'm telling you, I was washing dishes. I was doing everything in my power to get this off. It was not moving, so I can only imagine that's what it's going to do on my lips. This costs $14.49 for this. If it lasts all day, hell yeah, give me some of that. Okay, the next things I have are two lipsticks. As I said, if you watch my 4 or more lipstick video, I have a lot of e.l.f., not a drugstore. The only drugstore lipsticks I have are 5 Maybelline. That's it. No, I have a couple NYX here and there, but the only true drugstore that I consider true drugstore, Maybelline, L'Oreal, Rimmel, Covergirl, Wet n Wild. The only ones I had were Maybelline. I had 5 Maybelline. So I was there and I seen Covergirl display. So I picked up Romance Mauve, which is just beautiful nude mauve color. And I picked up 340 Delicious. And I'm actually wearing this one on my lips today. And it is just a nice lilac purple color. These aren't drying. Actually feels really comfortable on my lips. I would compare them to my Avon lipsticks, just because I would compare the colors to my NARS lipsticks, my Anita and Anna. I would compare them color-wise to that, but I think that the NARS are a bit creamier, and I think they actually wear off faster, so high-end lipsticks actually wear off faster. So I'm very pleased with these, and these were $12.49 each. Our drugstore prices are so high, but readily available. Things I got are 2 palettes. The first one I have is the Blush Nudes. So when you look at these palettes, it's going to speak of Naked 3. Just my take on it. The first one I have is the Maybelline New York Blush Nudes. I know there's been reviews on these. I can't honestly remember if they liked them or not. I can say from swatching, I have not worn this one yet. From swatching them, I can tell I'm going to have to work a little bit harder, but the colors are beautiful. Like, I don't mind working harder for a palette. I have no problem with that. Especially when you consider how much a naked palette costs and how much these cost. And I have so much makeup. I have to confess, I have way too much makeup that something like this, I'm not going to fly through it. Even if I do have to build it up a bit more. This costs $17.99. And I actually am excited to use this. Maybe this will be in my Friday Fabs and Flubs next week, you know? It looks really nice, and as I said, I had to build up these swatches, but the colors are beautiful when you do build them up. They don't come with a brush. I don't use a brush that comes with any product anyway, so I don't see the need for a brush. Even a sponge tip applicator, who uses those? I don't use those. I have tons of brushes. Like right behind me. I haven't used a sponge tip applicator since I was a teenager. Just saying. I've definitely grown my brush collection, but I have not used a sponge brush tipped applicator since I was a teenager. The next one I got was the L'Oreal Makeup Designer Paris, a palette Nude 2. And again, this reminds me of the Naked 2 palette. This one is much more pigmented, like a lot more pigmented. And it's the one I'm actually wearing today on my eyes. And I can tell you, these blended, so it's like one swipe across the eyeshadow. So this one was $31. It's as pricey as a Sephora palette, but will I use it? Yeah, I will. Look at that color payoff. In all honesty, I think these are actually cheaper at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is sad because Shoppers is usually more expensive. But they didn't have this one. They only had the nude, and there was the nude one, and there was another one that's like the smoky palette, which I don't do a lot of smoky eyes, so I kind of stay away from them. But I mean, look at these colors. There's a mirror on this one. There isn't on the Blush Nudes. Does that make up for like a $12 difference? I don't know that makes up for a $12 difference. The packaging on this is good, but it's good on the Blush Nudes. I will say I will use this palette. I have used this palette. In fact, today I am wearing this one all over the lid, this one in the crease, nope, this one in the crease, the second one in the crease, and then I have some of this one in the crease, and then I have this on the outer corner and underneath with this and this to blend out underneath, and this as a brow bone highlight, which the quality is good. They do kick up powder, but get a Kat Von D palette, they kick up powder too. I am seriously considering going and getting the other palettes in this line just because this one is so good. It blended so easily. I will not get it at Rexall. I will go to Shoppers because I'm sure it's cheaper there. But this is a great palette and I will use this. So that is the end of my video, my drugstore haul. I'd like to know what you think. Please give me your suggestions down below of drugstore products I should be trying. Keep in mind, I cannot get Wet n Wild. If you mention things, if I get enough mentions of things, I will place an order. But it'll be a long time coming. I have oily skin, or mostly oily skin, so I will not get the L'Oreal Glow, I think it is, the one that everybody's doing. I won't get it. The Lumi, the one in the container with the sponge, the cushion foundation, I won't get it. For one, I know that none of the colors in it match, so I won't get that. I don't do, although I want to, just once. Does anybody else want to just get a blue lipstick, just, you know, to see what it looks like? I don't do like a really dark blue, black, orange. I don't do orange. We had this whole discussion with an Ipsy bag where it had an orange lipstick in it and it was orange. I can't do it. My teeth don't like that. But if it's a nice, a drugstore product that you think I should try or I would enjoy, please let me know. Just keep in mind I am oily. I'm not going to use a glowy foundation. I do use BB creams, but they can't have an SPF, or they have to be, like, I have to know what kind of SPF they're using. Other than that, I'm wide open for suggestions. I don't have a lot of blushes that, okay, I have a lot of blushes, but the ones I have that I reach for are my Milani, which I had to order online. I know you can get them in Canada, you just can't get them where I am. And I have a Covergirl in the medium rose, and I have 2 Essence blushes. I love the Essence blushes. For drugstore, that's it. I don't have any others. Really, I didn't have many powders from the drugstore until recently. So I'd be glad to try and find any blushes that you say. I don't even have NYX blushes, and I have like NYX lip pencils and the suedes and mostly lip products for NYX. Oh, I do have NYX blushes. I have 2 ombres. I don't have a lot of NYX eyeshadows. I have one set that came in an Ipsy thing, and I seen somebody else do a review on those particular type palettes, and they didn't like them. It was a trio. They didn't like them. They said they had no color payoff, which is exactly what I found with the one that I got in my Ipsy. So other than that, I am wide open for eyeshadow ideas, eye palettes. Sky's the limit. Please let me know down below, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click thumbs up and leave your comments. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, and bye for now.